Bahamas with Bob, Island House Invitational, Sarah True, and her husband, Ben True. Sarah, you just punched your ticket. Top 10, 6th overall today. You get to go to the Big Island tomorrow. How fun is that?
I'm really, really excited. Ben's pretty excited too. You know, he's just spectating and watching and letting me do all the hard work.
Yes.
But it's fun for both of us. Yeah, I'm really excited.
So you fourth at the London Olympics. You go to the Olympics again this year. Cramping, obviously not your day. But besides the racing, the experience of your second Olympics.
You know, it's always such a ridiculous honor to be able to represent your country at the U.S. You know, obviously, I did a lot to get there, and I try to focus on that because that's a pretty special, a special thing to be able to accomplish. Yeah, no, it was a sad day, but you know, it was at the end of it all. You know, I'll remember that I was a two-time Olympian, and regardless of the end result.
Well, the cool part is, look at how you and Gwen and Katie and all these girls who are following along have revived American triathlon. I mean, think about the number of times that the three of you were on the podium together, and the fact that Gwen got the gold, and we had three very strong Americans, all ranked in the top 10 in the world for the last number of years. You have to be very proud of where triathlon was when you first got in for the U.S. and where it's at now.
Well, I came in the coattails of you know, Sheila Tarmina and Barb Lindquist and Laura, so I had them as role models, and you know, hopefully we can be role models for the next generation of U.S. women coming up.
So Ben, for you, the Olympic trials this last year, how'd you do at the trials?
Not my day. It wasn't my day. So the unfortunate circumstances, but you know, such a sport.
What type of circumstances?
For the 10K, something wasn't right with me, and the heat and humidity just killed me, and just wasn't there. And on the 5K, the tactics, I just didn't play the game right. And so ended up fifth, about a half a second out of first. And so I was just watching on the sidelines instead of being able to participate in Rio.
Your PR for 5K is what?
13:02.
How ridiculous is that?
I don't think people can really fathom. I can hang with him maybe for 100 meters of that, just full out sprinting, and that's about it.
What's interesting is you've got, you know, a lot of the folks here, you have a lot of couples. They're both triathletes. You guys are both professional athletes in different sports, but obviously very similar sports. How do you balance that as a couple and as two elite athletes?
I think it's just the travel that's the hardest part. You know, obviously Ben's a bit more of a homebody, but we both have to compete internationally, and you know, trying to make sure that we still see each other. You know, a few months out of the year. And, you know, you try to be supportive, and we can relate to the other person's sport without completely understanding. So it's not like we're going to try to coach each other.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's a really good thing. So we're capable of talking about other things other than, you know, our respective athletic careers at the end of the day, and that's pretty important.
So Ben, you weren't able to make the team this year, but having Sarah make the team and going down the Rio, that still had to be pretty special for you.
Yeah, no, it was great, and it was great to be able to support Sarah and just be able to take it all in. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
When you look back, obviously you're talking 13:02, but what do you look back as the most important race of your career?
Oh, hopefully the most important hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. But you know, when I was sixth at World Cross a few years ago, it was one of the first times in about 20 years that an American had been in the top 10, and we actually had two Americans in the top 10 that year. And as a team, because cross country World Cross scored as a team, the U.S. ended up second for silver. That was a pretty special moment to be a part of.
And we talked about the triathlon and how the women have helped bring American triathlon back. From American running, going back to Dina Castor and Meb Keflezighi in 2004, and then we have Galen Rupp. Americans have really turned it around. For a long time, we weren't even a factor on the world scene.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive. You know, the American distance runners have really, you know, started doing really well. We started to believe that we can race with the world's best, and you can see that. I think last year we had two guys ranked in the top 10, or three guys ranked in the top 10 in the world in the 5K, and that's amazing. You know, there's not too many countries that can have three guys ranked in the top 10 in the world, so it's pretty cool.
So this upcoming year, will it be track? Will you run some roads? What will be goals?
Focus would be the track still, but the roads are a lot of fun, so I'll definitely do a few of those. But the focus is still the track and the 5K. Yep.
And before you had a decision to make earlier in your career. You were a Nordic skier, and you were a runner.
Yep.
How did you make that decision? Which way to go?
Yeah, that was a tough decision. I did both all the way through college at Dartmouth, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a really hard decision to make. The first time I made the decision, I decided to be a skier, and I quit running. My junior year in college, I said, all right, that's it for running. I'm just going to be a skier. And so when I walked away from the sport fully from running, that I realized, I think, I kind of actually like running a lot. So I kind of got pulled back into the sport, and haven't looked back since.
So Sarah, how'd you guys meet?
It was kind of a setup of sorts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just happened to be around at a mutual acquaintance's house when Ben came through. Was borrowing an altitude tent, and he had broken his toe that morning. Was looking to ride bikes, and I got roped into riding with him, and that was kind of it.
Sort of cute.
Yeah, it is kind of cute.
So with riding a bike, swimming, does my man Ben do some of that stuff?
He's a really strong cyclist. We've ridden together a few times this year. We don't ride together that often because most of the year he's just running. But yeah, he's a handful. He's terrorizing all the local cyclists. The 2 times a year he goes on the bike, he'll ride for an hour and just pick up all the KOMs on Strava and just upset the local guys. Yeah.
So you like the bike?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I used to ride it a bunch when I was in high school and when I was training for skiing. But since I've been a runner, I really haven't ridden it at all, but I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
That is really cool. So Sarah, this next year, I mean, you getting ready for this race, I'm sure you had to get into that aero position thing and get the aero bars on. I mean, people don't realize triathlon is totally different.
Yeah.
This a different game when you get in that TT position.
Yeah, it's not just the position, it's the mental part. That really was apparent to me yesterday is you're just trying to stay around threshold for the entire time, and mentally that's so different for us where we're used to just reacting, we're racing.
Almost criterium format where somebody goes and you go.
Yeah, so it's far more reactive, less internal. So I have to do some meditation stuff, really learn how to be
look
in
at your power
position.
meter.
Exactly. So it was a kind of a wake up call yesterday that if I want to do some non-draft, I'm going to have to get that side of it.
I could see you being really, really good at non-drafting. Obviously, what do you think? Will you do a few of those next year?
I'd like to. I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
Is there another Olympics in your future?
I don't know him, but
Oh.
I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. We have such a strong U.S. women's team, and it requires a lot of international travel. It's been a really hard process the past 4 years on us.
Sure.
So this is something we'll have to talk about. But I'd like Ben to punch his ticket. Yeah. 2016.
And Ben, a lot of times you get guys who are 5,000 guys, and they look at Galen Rupp. All of a sudden he's running a marathon. You see yourself going that direction, or you gonna stick with speed and 5 and 10?
Yeah, not to the marathon anytime soon.
Good.
I'm a good probably 40 pounds heavy for the marathon, so it's gonna take some time before I get there. But I'd like to run a few at some time when I'm really fit and I can really race it. But it won't be for a while.
Love it. Ben and Sarah True, we're here at Island House Invitational. Sarah True going to the Big Island tomorrow, and the best part about that is top 10 go, and the worst you can walk away with is 10K.
Not too bad. Not a bad day at the office.
Sarah True will be treating at the bar, lots of drinks with little umbrellas in them.
Coconut drinks.
This is Bahamas with Bob. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.